Hey, everybody, it's Ron here, and I wanted to hop on for just a quick second and do a just very quick training for you. I was tell you what, I was inspired by a comment yesterday in the group, and I wanted to share a story with you and something that maybe you can use this week to get your next new home buyer in the works and working with you. So, first of all, before I jump into this, what I'm going to talk about for just a few minutes is what I call a 4-question survey. And by the way, if you hop on here and if you want to join in on the conversation, this is going to be a quick one here today. But go down to, you're welcome to comment. Would love to talk to you if you're here. And down at the bottom of the screen here, you see it says go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. And once you click on that and you approve that, then you can make comments and it'll show up on my end and I'll be able to see your comments and would love to talk to you because I don't like doing these for myself, but hey, first of all, before I get into this, I want to say a couple things. I want to say welcome to all the people. There's been a lot of people that have joined the New Home Niche Blueprint group in the last couple of weeks. And I know I haven't come out. I tried when we started to welcome each person one by one and tell us where you're from. And it's become unwieldy. All right. Maybe I'm just getting too old for it. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think that's it. But I want to say welcome to everybody that's joined. And, I kind of took the summer off. There's a lot of things going on with Hoodle. The company's growing. The web platform's growing. There's a lot of things that we're adding for the realtors, for the builders, and many, many other things that are coming in the works that I can't tell you about yet, but are coming soon. And in the midst of that, I've kind of pulled back from doing some of these trainings, and I'm going to be getting back in the room and doing more trainings now. I don't know the best time to do it. I really don't, because everybody's schedule is so different. And so I'm just going to have to experiment with that and see, what works for most people. But, if there's a time that you suggest and everybody says, yeah, that's time that's good for me, then let me know and we'll set that as our regular weekly time and we'll be here and doing training every week. But, okay, that said, so welcome to the new people who have joined the group, and also welcome to the new realtors that have joined as affiliate realtors. There's a few new realtors that have joined up. And we're starting our trainings tomorrow for the affiliate realtors. That's a whole other level of training than what we do in here, where we're really diving deep into how to go after builders, how to go after new construction buyers, how to interview builders and developers, and how to identify their needs and what they want from a realtor. And it's a lot. Okay, I mean it's a lot. We are, I think, taking it to the next level. And one of the things I'd like to say here too today is, hey, if you guys are new to this group, be aware that there are some really outstanding builder reps and builders that are joining the New Home Niche group. Okay, the New Home Niche Blueprint group here that we're in. There's a number of builders and builder reps, some of the best builder reps in the country that are joining up in our group here. And so this group is going to become an absolute amazing resource for you to connect, not just with me, with Hoodle, with other realtors, but with a lot of the builder reps. And we're going to be doing some interviews with some of them coming up here in the fall. And so all that to say, last night, and I'm going to share the screen with you here because I was kind of inspired by this, and I want to share a very insightful question and comment that was going on in the group, and I wanted to just kind of dovetail with that for just a minute because I think it's something you might be able to use here today. Let me see if I can do this. So Mark Baker, shout out to Mark Baker. If you see this, Mark, I'll try to tag your name on it. But Mark said, had a great question. How do I connect with more new construction buyers? And speaking of really outstanding builder reps, Christy jumped in, and Christy works for D.R. Horton out of forgive me, Christy, I've forgotten I think it's, well, I know you're in Ohio, but I don't remember for sure which market you're in Ohio. But Christy is one of the really outstanding builder reps within D.R. Horton. And we've had a conversation in the past, very, very insightful builder rep. And she really knows how to take care of the realtors that she works with. Anyway, Mark said, hey, I'm having a hard time finding new construction buyers. And Christy chimed in and said this, and let me see if I can show it a little bit bigger so you can see it here. Hey, Mark, have you considered that every buyer could potentially be a new build buyer? They just don't know it yet. And I won't read the whole thing. You have to introduce the concept and dispel the myths. So I wanted to talk about this for just a second because it's absolutely true. Oh, hang on a second. Facebook user says Pickerington. Okay, thank you, Facebook user. And if I knew who you were, I'd thank you in person. But Pickerington. So Christy's in Pickerington, and very insightful builder rep, doing a great job with D.R. Horton and helping realtors understand new construction as well. And so the thing that she said here, if you consider that every new construction buyer could potentially be a new build buyer. So here's one of the things that I experienced. A lot of times people, when they're realtors are starting in new construction, they go, well, I don't have any new construction buyers. I'm saying you do. Okay. I think you do. And here is what I did when I started in new construction. So one of the things I did is, as a realtor, and when I began to specialize in new construction, I started only doing new home open houses, only new construction open houses. And I was already doing open houses, and I don't know if you do. I think they're a great practice if you do them well. I think we can do them poorly too, where we don't get much from them, and nobody else does either. But if we organize ourselves, and what I did was I just began to go, okay, I'm only going to do new construction open houses. And so initially I was borrowing open houses, other listings that other realtors had within my area, within Coldwell Banker where I was, and sitting open houses for them. Very quickly, you will start to see a couple things. You'll start to see that there are a lot of new construction buyers, and you begin to build your portfolio of new construction buyers. And you'll also see that the buyer journey is different. And the way a new construction buyer approaches the process of building a new home is much, much different, the way they think about it, than the way a used home or pre-owned home buyer would. It's a different process. It's a different buyer journey. And so once you get a hold of that and you realize that there's a different way to do it, there's a different way to help them and add more value to them, it'll become immediately apparent to you on really how to reach into that target demographic. And by the way, on Sunday night, I'm doing a web class where we're just going to talk about new construction buyers. We're going to talk about the demographics of them, buyer journey, what are their biggest problems, their biggest questions, and how you can become a fiduciary and a guide to new construction buyers. So if that's of interest to you, and in fact, let me, I'll post the thing right here. I think I've got it right there. So right there at the bottom of the screen is the registration screen. So anybody, if you're in the group and you want to be a part of the web class, we'd love to have you be a part of that. That's the link where you'll register right there. So take a picture of it, jot it down, but it's newhomenicheblueprint.com, and then whatever comes after that. So anyway, we'd love to have you join us on Sunday evening. Now back where was I? So the other thing that I began to do is I decided that, okay, if I'm going to specialize in new construction, I'm going to start talking to every buyer I know about new construction. It's the same thing that Christy was talking about. Every buyer I know, every buyer that I meet, I'm going to ask them a couple of questions about new construction. And I kid you not, when you do this, it will absolutely just shock your socks off. Okay. You're not going to believe it. But before I tell you what there's a 4-question survey that I do with all buyers, as a realtor, all buyers, I do this 4-question survey to begin to call out new construction buyers that I didn't even know that I knew, and you do too. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little thing that I learned long ago. One of the things, years ago when my dad was alive, I worked for my dad. He was a great sales guy and much better than I am, and taught me a lot. One of the things Dad told me in the years that I worked with him, he said, he had this saying. He said, there's only 2 things that motivate somebody: inspiration or desperation. And if one of them doesn't get you, then pray that the other one does. And, I wrote that down and I thought about it a lot, because it is very true that there are 2 things that motivate us as human beings, just 2. At the root of everything that we do, we're either motivated by something that we are in pursuit of, something a goal that we're after. Okay. I want to achieve this thing. I want to have this home. I want to have this dream home, whatever it is. Or I want to learn how to be a new construction realtor. I want to dominate my market. All of us are motivated by one of 2 things. Either we're running after something, or what's the other one? Do you guys know? The other one is we're running away from something. So we're motivated by pleasure, that we're moving towards something that's pleasurable and desirable for us, and that draws us to it. And it could be anything. It could be, being on a health kick, or lifting weights, or getting in shape, or anything we want to do. We're either pursuing something, or we're motivated by something that we're trying to avoid, right? Things are too painful. It's too painful. I've got to get away from this thing. Okay. Now, of those 2 motivators, and I'm going to tie it back to this. Okay. It'll make perfect sense to you in just a minute. But of those 2 things, the thing that I'm going after, or the thing that I'm running away from, the thing that I'm avoiding, the biggest motivator, the thing that makes us move the fastest is the pain, is avoiding pain, getting out of pain, getting out of risk. Have you ever heard it said, okay, when we're selling, okay, and we're all salespeople, right? Everybody in here is a salesperson or a consultant or an advisor, whatever you want to call it, but we're all selling, we're all serving people by selling them and helping them get to their desired outcomes, right? And have you ever heard it said, that is it easier to sell a painkiller or a vitamin? What do you think? Is it easier to sell aspirin, to get somebody to take aspirin, give them some Excedrin, give them some Tylenol, or to get them to buy vitamins and take vitamin C every day? So if you said the painkiller, you would be absolutely right. It's far easier to help somebody, if they're in pain, get out of pain. And that really causes us to move much more quickly. So ultimately, and when you're selling, you want to do both. You want to help people get out of their pain, and you want to help them get to the thing that's pleasurable and desirable to them. Okay, what does this have to do with selling, and what does it have to do with new construction? Here's the thing. And the thing that I think Christy was kind of bringing up, and the thing that I wanted to talk about for a minute. When you begin to ask people these next 4 questions I'm going to share with you, or even just the first one, okay, you begin to ask buyers that these questions, you will find that many, many people want to build a new construction home. I would say a majority of people. It's probably over 50% of the people that that you just don't know that they're a new construction buyer. They want to. They desire, what does everybody have? Everybody in America, what do we have? We have everybody has a dream home. And, the dream home is generally new construction. It just is. I don't know why. We like new cars instead of used cars too. When we buy a car, we all want a new car, right? Well, that's the way people are with homes as well. They'd like to have a new construction home. But what? They are running away from it because it's so intimidating, because for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, we haven't made the process easy. Now, one of the things that we're doing with Hoodle is we're trying to make that process easier, and we're trying to, and realtors that are part of Hoodle, we're really raising the bar to providing a better service and better outcomes and better buyer experience for new construction, for specifically for new construction buyers. But when I started to ask people, and I decided I was going to specialize in new construction. I decided, okay, everybody I talk to, every buyer that I've got, I'm going to ask them a couple questions about home building, because that's my thing. I may not know it all yet, and I still don't, and you won't either. There's a lot to learn, but I'm going to start asking them a couple questions. And so here's the 4 questions. And if I were you, I'd write them down, but even more than writing them down, go try them out, because this stuff does not work if you don't do it. You have to implement. It's not just about, knowledge for knowledge sake. This doesn't do anything for anybody. Okay. Write them down, put them in your own words. The words aren't magic. This is just the way that I said it. Okay. But, I started going back to all the buyers that I have, and every buyer that I met, and didn't matter whether they said they were looking for new construction or not, any buyer that I was working with. And I asked them 4 questions. I'm going to give them to you right now. I'm going to give you the script on it. The first one that I would ask people, after I qualified people and I'm sitting with Mr. and Mrs. Jones or whomever it is, and they've told me about the house that they want, right? Then, and vast majority of the time, they don't say, well, we want a new construction home. They just don't. They say, we want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2.5-car garage, blah, 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 with this, that, and the other thing, this price range, boom. And what do? We dutifully, as realtors, start clickety click, 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 and we pull it up on the MLS and we print off a list, or we put them in the, autoresponder, and they start to get the drip email campaign of everything that's on the MLS that's not new construction. It's 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2.5-car garage. Yeah. But I started, after people would tell me what they wanted, I started to ask this question. I would say, and write it all down. I'm taking my notes, and I'd say, hey, let me ask you something, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Let me ask you, have you ever considered building new? And then I just shut up. Have you ever considered building new? And watch how many people will begin to go, yeah, we would love to build. Yes, we would love to build. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, is the but, okay? We would love to build. In fact, I watched a lot of people where, I was already working with them. Some of them we've been shopping for days or weeks or months, and when I throw out this question, have you ever considered building new? And I would watch their energy level change. And it was like, something, yes, we would love to build new. I had one lady that got in her schedule book and pulled out an elevation. She said, I've been carrying this around for years. This is the home that I want to build. And okay, why didn't I already know that? She didn't say to me, I want to build a new home. She just said, I'm looking for this, that, and the other type of home. And so, number one question, have you ever thought about building? And then just listen and watch their energy level. I've had people that came back when I did this, that came back with, hey, we're going to talk about our dream home. Well, in that case, we'd like to get back together, and they come in with a whole folder of photos that they've been cutting out of this thing that we used to have. We don't anymore, magazines, but where they're tearing out photos of, here's our dream kitchen, here's the man cave, here's the walkout basement, here's the the wet bar in the basement. Their dream home. Everybody's got a dream home, and it's generally new construction. And when I started to ask people, I couldn't believe it was well over half of them that were going, yeah, we would love to have new construction. And my next question is, why aren't we talking about new construction? If that's the case, then why are we looking at used homes? This is where it gets really interesting, okay? And when you begin to dive into this, I think you will begin to discern new construction buyers better than most realtors in your market. You'll begin to understand them better when you begin to understand not just what they desire, but what they're running away from. So question number one, have you ever considered building new? Question number two is, what's kept you from it, or why? Well, why aren't we talking about new homes then? Why are we looking at these used homes if that's really what you want? And this is where you really want to take some notes. You want to dive in and listen deep, right? Listen hard and take notes about the reasons why they're not pursuing the thing that, and it goes back to what I said. We're all motivated by one of two things. Desire to go after the thing that's pleasurable, or running away from the thing that we're afraid of, or what looks like painful. Guys, what I will tell you is that most buyers want to have a new construction home, but they're afraid for a lot of different reasons. I'm not going to get into the details of that right now. Maybe if you join me on Sunday, we'll talk about some of those things on Sunday night. But but some of the things that would say, and by the way, I've got an ebook out on this too. I recommend you go grab this ebook. Let me see if I can find it here. Dun, dun, dun. There it is right there. So there's an ebook that we put together that are the 7 biggest problems that, down at the bottom of the screen, 7 biggest issues that new construction buyers have that keep them from building new. The biggest problems, the 7 biggest problems that they experience in their buyer journey, which is different from the pre-owned buyers. New construction buyers have a different set of problems. If I were you, I would go download this free ebook and read through it. It's very fast read, but don't miss the fact that this is powerful stuff. And watch the videos that go along with each one of them. If you get a hold of that ebook and you start to digest that, watch the videos, you can take any one of those 7 problems that buyers experience, and you can grow a business literally around that one problem. You take 1 or 2 of those things, you begin to make some inroads on those issues that new construction buyers have. It will change the trajectory. You will become the go-to realtor, okay, in your market, because other realtors are not doing this stuff, okay? But I started to ask them. So the first question was, have you ever considered building new? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, have you ever thought about building new? And then just stop and listen and watch how many of them will go, yes, we would love to build new, but we can't, and some of the things they say is, we've never been able to find a realtor to help us with it. Realtors will persuade us not to. I'm just telling you what they say, okay? And I got to believe that it's true. Others will say, yeah, we'd love to, but it just seems so confusing, or we can't find the builders, or, we don't really understand the difference between, which builder we need, or we've heard bad stories about it, or on and on and on, okay? So question number 1, if you ever consider building new. Question number 2, well, why aren't we talking about new? What's kept you from it? Okay. And then write it down. Question number 3, if you were going to build, tell me about that home. Tell me about your dream home. And it's fascinating because many times when you go through this exercise, people will start to describe something different than what they've already told you that they're looking for. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it's got minor tweaks. Sometimes it's major tweaks. I've had people that said, oh, well, hey, if we're talking about our dream home, we could close out. We've got a 401k that we've set aside for our dream home. We could close that out. We probably got another $200,000 we could add in if we're going to do our dream home. We didn't know we didn't know we were going to have this conversation. And it's amazing to me that they have that hard of a time finding a realtor who is willing to help them with their dream home. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but a lot of it comes back to what's convenient for us, or as realtors, maybe we don't feel as comfortable with new construction yet, and so we don't want to advise, or we're not sure how much value we can provide. The issues are all over the map. But question number 1, have you ever considered building new? Question number 2, what's kept you from it, or why aren't we talking about new construction? Question number 3, if you were going to build, tell me about that house. And a lot of times It'll be slightly different or a lot different from what they've already told you that they want. Now, guess what? If you start talking their dream home and you're moving them towards their dream home, guess how much higher their energy level goes on getting that thing done. Okay. But it's exactly what Christy was saying in her post here. You have to remove the fear. They just don't know it yet. You have to dispel the myths, right? She said you have to dispel the myths. And it's 100% accurate, okay? That if you take away their fears and you begin to help them walk through that process, they will not only thank you by becoming your customer, but they'll refer other people to you. And because you're the one realtor that's taken the time. I've had realtors, I've had people that have said, we tried to build for years. And every place we go, realtors tell us, yeah, you don't want to do that here. Do it the next time, And that is not being a fiduciary and a guide. It's not, if I'm a realtor or if anybody's a realtor and I just don't want to do it, it's too much hassle, then I should refer that person out. Okay. So here's the fourth question. So question number one, have you considered building new? Question number two, what's kept us from it? What's kept you from it? And then listen and write notes. Question number three, what does that dream home look like? And question number four, let me ask you this. So John and Judy, if I specialize in new construction. Now I don't know everything about it and I'm learning and, I love new construction. There's a lot to learn about it, but if I were going to walk you through it, if I'm going to hold your hand through this process of building your dream home, the same as I would with anybody that's buying a pre-owned home, are you telling me that that is really your preference? Are you telling me that that's really what you'd rather do? And watch how many people will go, sometimes they'll look at each other and they'll go, yes. Yeah. If you are offering to be our guide through this process, and guys, that is a key here. Okay. Not that you have to know how to install light fixtures. You don't need to know everything about new construction, but new construction buyers want a guide on that journey, not drop you off and good luck and I'll see you at the closing table. Right. So, it's a different experience. It's a different experience for us as realtors. I say us, I'm not a realtor anymore, but it's a different experience working with the builders and the builder reps and in the project managers and everybody else than it is with the used home journey. But it's a wonderful experience, and it's a wonderful experience to get people into their dream home. Okay. So the fourth question is kind of a soft close. Mr. Jones, so are you telling me that if I were going to walk you through this, if I was going to be your guide through this process, hold your hand through the whole thing and take the exact same care for your home build as I would for anybody else that's buying a used home, are you telling me that that's your preference? And watch how many will tell you absolutely yes. Now, if you have new construction, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with this. If you've got new construction buyers, or if you got buyers, I would recommend that you start having that comment. And what's the worst that's going to happen? No, we really don't want new. You might hear that once. Nope, don't want it. Not very often. Most of the time, it's yes, but. Okay, and help them and write down what's the but. What's the thing that's kept them from it? Okay. And you're going to find that you got new construction buyers. When you have new construction buyers, you've got a better foot in the door to go meet the builders reps and to meet the builders, the big builders, the small builders, the custom builders, production builders, semi-custom builders, all of them. Okay. And you've got a new type of conversation that you're having with builders. And that's all. I'll save that for another class. But, there's three things that builders say that they look for in a realtor that they want to work with. I'll share that with you in a few days here. So last thing I got here is tomorrow, we're starting a new class of realtors that are affiliate realtors, Hoodle affiliate realtors. If you haven't checked out Hoodle, really recommend that you do. It's at hoodle.com. I'm not going to talk about it today. I just, go check it out. I'm the founder of a web platform for for the new home building process throughout the United States, and it's taken off across the United States, and it's realtor driven. It's builder centric and buyer centric, and realtors are just very, very intricately involved in adding more value to the builders, to the land developers, and to new construction buyers. And if you're interested in that, we're starting a new class for affiliate realtors tomorrow at 9:30. And so it's a great place to start. We just got a small group that's starting tomorrow. But if you're interested in finding out about that, reach out to me. Send me a drop into my DMs, as the kids would say, as you guys probably say. Drop into my DMs. Send me a message. And if you want to hop on a quick phone call and say, what is this thing? How does it work? I'm happy to share it with you. It's very cool. I'll tell you that. And so we're starting a new class tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. on Zoom for a handful of new realtors that are joining up with us in different locations around the country. And over the next umpteen weeks, we're going to dive deep, deep, deep into every aspect of attracting buyers, finding builders, which builders, how do I interview builders, how do I segment builders, what's the difference between working with DR and working with John Smith and Sons, all kinds of stuff that we're going to get into that is, what I would call advanced selling. It's very much advanced selling. It's consultative selling strategies that you probably haven't learned maybe you have, but most realtors haven't. And so if that's of interest to you, reach out to me, send me a message. Happy to hop on a quick phone call with you and can tell you what it's about and answer any questions for you. And if not, that's fine too. But definitely go get this, go get the ebook that I've got scrolling across the bottom there. And absolutely take these 4 questions and go try them out on your own, because none of this stuff does any good unless you go apply it. And by the way, anything that I teach in here is not theory. There's absolutely zero theory. It's stuff that I've experienced, that other realtors have experienced, that are winning strategies that you need to put into practice as well. Don't do it once, do it 10 times. 10 times. Okay. Don't just have that conversation with one buyer, have it with 10 buyers, and then count how many times a buyer says, yeah, if you're gonna walk us through it, we would love to have your help. And then they start referring people to you, because most realtors aren't doing that. Guys, thank you so much. If you sat through this, bless you. And thanks for listening to me for so long. I get a little excited when I start telling this stuff. But, if there's any way I can be of help to you, let me know. There's an amazing opportunity for realtors to step up their game. I call it a open window of opportunity for realtors that step into new construction and take a new approach to it. And would love to have you be a part of that as well, and just experience amazing success in your market there. My name is Ron Williams, and I'm the founder of Hoodle.com, and I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.